get started.
We're rolling.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. This is Melissa with HandsOn Connect Cloud Solutions, and we're so excited that you're here today for Connect University. So because of the success of our 20 Minutes with Super Admin, Libby did such a great job with how to lose 20 pounds of bad data. And your response to that, we're going to continue the series. And it's been rebranded as Connect University, so we hope you'll join us on a regular basis. So I'm excited today to be talking about reports and dashboards, which doesn't sound very exciting sometimes until you realize what it can really do. But we have a few general housekeeping items first. So we love to talk to you, and we want to be respectful of everyone's time and finish in the allotted 20 minutes. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat box today. And then Open Lab meets tomorrow at noon Eastern. And if you want to explore more questions and information, they are for you to join us. So we have a great team here at HandsOn Connect Cloud Solutions. You've probably met most of them: Art, Libby, Jenny, Esteban, Alfredo, and Larry. And so anyone want to take a guess at whose favorite topics is reports? And it's not me. I think probably Larry actually wins that prize for the favorite. So we want to get started. Our goals for this HandsOn Connect University are on the most basic level, really just twofold. We want to give you a better understanding of reports, and then we want to help you know how dashboards can visualize those reports for you and really tell the story that you want to tell. So you have questions, your boss has questions, your donors have questions, your grantors have questions. Seems that questions are always the thing that's happening, but your data has the answers. So before we even start on building a report, let's think about the questions themselves. Think about the questions that you get on a regular basis. And let's just do a quick poll and see maybe what the most popular question that you were asked to report on is. And let me see if I can run this. And we'll take just a minute here to see what your answers might be. Not that anyone would ever stop by your office and say, how many volunteers are signed up for Saturday? Or did we get any donations this week if you're using Nonprofit Starter Pack? Or just give me the big picture. I don't need the little numbers. Or how many hours were volunteered last month? So everybody got their answer in. What is the question you're asked most often? We'll give it just another second here before we close out the poll. A couple of people not voted yet. And it looks like how many hours were volunteered last month is the big winner. That's great. So thank you for participating, letting us know that. We definitely have some reports that are already available in Salesforce for you that you may be using, that some that you may not be aware of, and we definitely want to help you get a better handle on that. So when someone asks you that question, when they ask how many hours were volunteered last month, do you ask clarifying questions? Do you ask them, do you want to see all the volunteers? Or do you want to see volunteers grouped in a specific way? Maybe they want them grouped by volunteer opportunity or by age group or another demographic. So once you understand the ultimate goal of the question that the person is asking, then you can start planning your report. So planning is what will pull all the answers from your data, and you can use your new reporting superpower to tell that data story. So Salesforce's Trailhead defines a report as a list of records that meet the criteria you define. Records are made up of objects and fields in your data. And you already know what these are from working with Super Admin to get your data all cleaned up. For example, a volunteer opportunity is an object. connection is an object. A contact is an object. But the name of the volunteer opportunity is a field in the volunteer opportunity object. And a birth date is a field in the contact object. These are the bits and pieces of data that make up the records that create your reports. And this is where your clarifying questions are really important. You need to know which objects and fields you need to pull into the report to get the answers that are required. When we get ready to build a report from the ground up, we'll look at this more in depth.
Hey, Melissa, I just want to make sure you've got a recording started.
All right, so thank you. Do I think I'm not? It is being recorded, yes, thank you. So reports is also a big tab on your Salesforce instance. And if it's not, you need to come to lab and let us show you how to make sure it is. So if we take the plunge and click that reports button, this is probably a screen you're very familiar with. But there is a wealth of information here, all at our fingertips. So just to take a quick tour and discuss a few highlights about what is here. These are each specific reports. These are folders full of reports. You can organize all of this in any way that you want. You can share reports. You can limit who sees reports. But your instance comes preloaded with some standard reports right out of the box. So if you use HandsOn Connect, there are also additional standard reports preloaded for you. Nonprofit Starter Pack, Click and Pledge, Constant Contact, all have standard reports that are added to your folders when those services are integrated. So not only do you have a superpower in reporting itself, you have a lot of different options for that superpower already at your fingertips. There are 4 different formats for reports available in Salesforce: tabular, summary, matrix, and joined. And it sounds and looks a little intimidating, but it's really not. You just have to ask yourself some questions. What are you going to do with this report? Do you just want a list, or are you trying to present an executive summary? Do you want a beautiful, full-color dashboard, or do you need a chart that's internal to the report itself? Once you've decided the answers you want to retrieve and you've got a good idea of the format for those answers, that's the basic superpower of reporting. You've done all the hard work. It's like the days you spend prepping to paint a room. The easy part is the actual painting. So let's paint a report. All this wealth of reports already built into Salesforce. Is there anything here that already answers your questions in the format you want? So maybe you're interested in donations by households for a nonprofit starter pack. And voila, there's already a report created in your Salesforce instance that has that information. Maybe you just want to know the big numbers so far this year. But since it's for the board meeting, you really only want this month. It's very easy to adjust. So we're going to pop out of here just for a second into the grand summary for the current year. Very easy to change the date range for just this current calendar last month. And you see that it automatically changes those totals for you. Simple, easy peasy. You have edited your first report. If we go back, you may have a volunteer that walks into your office who's going to handwrite thank you notes for all your donors, but he needs the names and addresses. So you switch back to your handy-dandy households and donations report, but there aren't any addresses here. So what do? Well, luckily we don't have to build a new report. We can simply customize the report that we have. The Customize button here on the tab makes it very simple to go back and see what the parameters are, what the information that's being asked in this report. In this case, all we really need is to add the mailing address, and it really is as simple as dropping and dragging and dropping over. Run the report to make sure that it's giving us the information that we need. And you see for the excuse me, for those people, for those contacts that we have addresses on, it has filled the addresses in. You can save it, or you can save as to give it a different name, and perhaps name this one donations and households with addresses. And the more definitive your description here, the easier it will be to go back and find it later, to use it again. So that's simple, just to edit a report. Sorry. And then, depending on the format that you need it in, you can get a printable view from the file. You can actually export the data into a file. But what if there's nothing even remotely like what you want? Or it's a very specific thing that you're looking to find. So let's take a look at what building a report from scratch really looks like. And that's that big scary button right there that says New Report. It's really not scary at all. And so when we talked about at the very beginning today, objects and fields, selecting a report type is where you define that information. Perhaps your volunteer coordinator has asked for a list of all the youth ages 13 to 21 who volunteered last month. So my first inclination, obviously, is to go in because you want connections. You want those kids that have actually volunteered. So here is HandsOn Connect Organizations, Contacts, and Connections. Create a report. We want connections. Scroll down, attendance status, email. But the contact email, contact phone, contact full name. Depending on what information you want, we can define the dates. You can define age ranges. We hope. Nope. And this type of report's not going to work because it doesn't allow me to actually define the birth date, because you know that's not in connections. You know that's actually in your contact object. So some of it is trial and error with finding exactly the information that you need to create your definitive report. And you'll get some practice on this week. We've got some homework to do so that you'll learn how to create a report from scratch, finding exactly what you need for your specific purposes. So just quickly, to see where we are, how often do you run reports for your organization? Quick little poll here to see how often, how quickly, how much you have to do this. Daily, once a week, once a month? Never? No one ever asks you for a report? We'll take just a second here to see what the consensus is. And I'll be interested to know in follow-up for those of you who say you never have to run a report, if that's because you don't have that specific task assigned to you, or if it's just something that's difficult for you to do. Thank you. So a lot of you are running reports daily. So this may be all old news to you. But we want to make sure we're all on the same page as far as understanding what it takes to create a report. So I want to encourage you for homework. If you're not familiar with Trailhead on Salesforce.com, it's a great way to go in and learn more skills, more information on how to do a variety of functions and information, and you can learn so very much. It's free, it's easy, it's simple, and here's the link. I'll also post this as index for you, and if you can, take the time this week to actually go through and do these three first little simple exercises. Getting started with the reports and dashboards takes about 15 minutes. Using the report builder takes about 25 minutes. And then the third one is talking about formats for the reports. And again, it's about 25 minutes. And when we come back together next week to talk about dashboards and what we can do there, then you will be ready to create some beautiful dashboards. So I just want to wrap up here quickly, let you know we appreciate you being here, the entire team. We thank you and hope you found this useful and beneficial. Show up to lab tomorrow if you need some additional help, or we have labs every single day. Those are posted on Zendesk. Feel free to ask us to help you understand reporting better. And we will look forward to seeing you next week for dashboards. Thank you.